Oh, hello, this is Tak Chong from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. I was very disappointed a couple days ago when I talked to my friend, and he told me that my fast cooking system is actually very boring to him, particularly when it comes to eating vegetables. He told me that he hates vegetable because he finds vegetable to be very boring. And because of this reason, he would never adopt my fast cooking system because it seems like my fast cooking system, most of the emphasis is placed on cooking vegetables. And this turned out to be a huge blow to my confidence because all along when I developed my fast cooking system, the main goal of the cooking system is to help people to eat more vegetable so that they can find vegetable to be fun, interesting, not only to cook but also enjoy the different flavors provided by many different kinds of vegetables. When I growing up in Hong Kong, eating vegetables was the norm because they are far more available than meat. In fact, we rarely eat meat, and if we do eat meat in some of our meals, it usually was present in a small amount. And meat is used more as a condiment to flavor the dish, which was predominantly vegetables. And I really enjoyed the balance between the meat and vegetables. With the dish mainly contain vegetables, I get a sense of a lightness to the dish. And with some meat present, it provides some interesting contrast. Because there are many different kinds of vegetables that provide quite a variety in contrast of both flavor and texture in comparison to a relatively limited number of kinds of meat. From a nutritional standpoint, humans are far more suited to eat more vegetables and only eat a small amount of meat. Vegetables contain a significant amount of fiber, which is necessary for digestive health. Vegetables also contain chemicals frequently referred to as phytochemicals. They provide many health benefits, particularly in prevention different kinds of chronic diseases. Here is an example of a vegetable dish. And if you look at the different color and different textures that presented in this dish, it is hard to say that vegetable dishes are not interesting or delightful to eat. So I have a discussion with my friend, and I asked him why he thought vegetable dishes are not interesting to him. So I decided that I'm going to invite him over and share this dish with him, which I really enjoy. And I call this dish a vegetable medley. And to me, this is the best way to make vegetable dishes both interesting as well as tasty. So we had a dinner together and I cooked him this vegetable dish. Afterward, I asked him what did he think. He told me that this is probably the best vegetable dish that he has ever had. In fact, he said he might change his mind on his previous opinion that vegetable dishes are not interesting. One of the main reasons that my fast cooking system is designed specifically for cooking vegetable is the use of stir frying as the cooking technique. Now, stir frying is a great cooking technique that can be used to cook almost any kinds of food ingredients, all the way from vegetable to meat to seafood. However, stir frying is particularly suitable for cooking vegetables because through stir frying you can control the texture of vegetables. Furthermore, you can cook many different kinds of vegetables by stir frying, and you can cook them all together using a method called sequential stir frying, which you can cook different vegetables exactly to the texture that you would like. And through stir frying, you can always add a small amount of meat to use it as a condiment to season the dish. Here I use a kind of sausage and frequently known as lap churn or Chinese sausages. I use them mainly as a condiment to provide flavor to the dish. This is predominantly a vegetable dish, and one of the key ingredients is eggplant. If you don't like eggplant, please don't turn away from this video yet. Because I did not like eggplant until I started to cook a dish like this, which is a vegetable medley that contains many other vegetables as well. In a vegetable medley, I have several other kinds of vegetables. In this case, eggplant will be in contrast with other vegetables, and through these differences, the flavor of the eggplant come out very differently, and I start to like eggplants now. One thing I learned from cooking the eggplant is that you need quite a bit of oil to saturate the flesh of the eggplant, and only through this way the true flavor of the eggplant comes out. Adding enough oil to the wok is important in cooking the eggplant correctly. The next vegetable that I'm going to add to this medley is some Brussels sprouts. Similarly, I used to not like Brussels sprouts, but now I love Brussels sprouts simply because of its company with other vegetables. My reason for not liking Brussels sprouts in the past is similar to many other people's impression about Brussels sprouts, which has a strong flavor. Now, this is the beauty of a vegetable medley, because eggplant has a relatively mild flavor. Therefore, it actually in contrast to the Brussels sprout, it makes both of the vegetables taste better. One of the key considerations in cooking a vegetable medley is that not to overcook some of the vegetables and not to undercook the other vegetables. And this is the beauty of stir frying, because you can add different vegetables during different stages of the cooking process. For example, you notice that in cooking this vegetable medley, I start out with the eggplant because that takes longer to cook in order to achieve the texture that I want to. And I add the Brussels sprout at a later stage because in this case, I will not overcook them. So now I'm ready to add the white mushroom, which I want to cook only very lightly, and that's why I add them to the later stage of this cooking process. Now, texture of vegetable play a very important role to the culinary experience. When vegetables that are overcooked, they become soggy, they will not taste quite right. Or if they are undercooked, they might be too crunchy and they will not taste right either. Here is a good example. A mushroom, you certainly do not want to overcook them too much because you want to be able to taste the flavor and texture of the mushroom. Similarly, you do not want to undercook Brussels sprouts because they could be hot and crunchy. So by adding different vegetables to the wok at different time during the cooking process, you can control the texture of the vegetables by adding them earlier if you want to cook them longer, or by adding them later if you want to cook them only for a short time. As you see here, I have included 3 different vegetables. Now, in order to cook a vegetable medley, it turned out to be another attribute of my fast cooking system to be critical, and that is advanced prepping. Without advanced prepping, the idea of a vegetable medley will be quite challenging, which means that you have cut up many different vegetables before you start to cook, and that could be time consuming. However, with advanced prepping, one can choose different vegetables that you have in the advanced prepping, and you will be ready to cook as soon as you walk into the kitchen. And this is where I told my friend, I said, vegetable dishes could be very interesting simply because there are many different kinds of vegetables to create a wide variety of combinations. And when you combine stir frying with advanced prepping, you basically have many possibilities right in front of you, creating a wide array of dishes of different type of combination, provide various texture and flavor. However, none of this will be easily available if you don't have advanced prepping. And to me, this is the primary reason that people do not like vegetables, because they will only eat a few kinds of vegetable in a particular dish, and quite often they will eat the same combination time after time. Furthermore, vegetable dish can be very flavorful depending on how you season the vegetable dish. And there are many different ways to season the vegetable dish, give you even greater possibility in creating dishes that is flavorful in both texture as well as in its taste. In this example, I flavor the dish in a combination of oyster sauce, hoisin sauce, and a Panda Express orange sauce, and followed by a hot chili in oil sauce. You can season a vegetable dish in the same way as you will season a meat dish. You can have a teriyaki chicken, but you can also have a teriyaki vegetable dish. The final ingredients I add to dish is some cherry tomatoes. As I've described earlier, this is sequential cooking in its best because I want to cook the cherry tomatoes very lightly, and this is the reason why I add it right at the end. So at the end, I told my friend is that it is how you cook the vegetables to make them interesting. For example, this dish has many different flavor and texture because of the combination of these different kind of vegetables in it. On top of that, I have added the Chinese sausage or lapchang. I only add a small amount to it, but that is enough to create enough contrast with other ingredients in the dish. And this is why that I use meat in a vegetable dish, mainly as a condiment for the flavor and texture of the dish. I like to make the same point that I make it to my friend, to you, is that vegetable dish can be very interesting and delightful. It's not restricted by how you cook them. And if any vegetable dish that is most interesting and most delightful is a vegetable medley. And with advanced prepping, with a lot of different vegetables to choose from, a vegetable medley could provide you almost infinite variations, and you will never get bored eating it. I post a video each day to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine using my fast cooking system, which is practical, efficient, creative, and fun. So keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.